was quite the word I want. Yeah, I know books. I just can't think of words. I do have 5 more books to pick from the reading challenges I've been doing all year. For the first book, Read Your Bookshelf from Chantel at An Intentional Life. It's our YouTube channel, and it's 1 book a month. It's a lot of fun, and this is what started me with the reading challenges. So I also am doing her list from 2020 because I didn't know about it last year. So I need to pick 2 books to go with those prompts, and let me find the prompts. As I mentioned, my channel is started with bullet journals. So I have my bullet journal page for August. I need to read a book in a series. Yay. Okay, for that, the fantasy Jolie Wilkins. It's a really fun fantasy. She's an American witch taken to England and thrown into this world she didn't realize existed. She thought she was just that she could see auras and she was a little psychic, but she didn't believe in witchcraft or werewolves, vampires, the whole gamut, fairies. Well, I'm up to book 3. It has a really good love triangle, but not an annoying one. It's not a full triangle as so much as possibilities. You're looking, it's a little steamy, fun, a lot of humor. If you're looking for something funny, so that won't be my book for a series. Then it was fantasy for the 2020 prompt. Okay, get another fantasy book. I actually started this when I finished all of my prompts back in, let's see, June, but I didn't get very far into it at all. I just picked it up the other day and started reading again. It's actually 3 books. Magic Kingdom for Sale, sold, and The Black Unicorn and Wizard at Large. So I have it marked. Here's where book 1 ends, and this is how far I've gotten in. I was intrigued that you could buy a magical kingdom, and the protagonist is a lawyer. So he gives up his life in New York, buys this magical kingdom, and he travels there. I guess this would be high fantasy. It was written, book 1 was 86, 87, and then 88. So this came out when I was a sophomore in high school. Yeah, I'm 50. So 86, I was 16 years old. So if you're looking for something different, Magic Kingdom of Landover, books 1, 2, and 3. That will be my fantasy for 2020. So the next reading challenge that I'm doing is from Completely Melanie. She has a wheel. Love it. And she also does Cards Against TBR, I think is what it is. And then she does Have I Read It? So if you're looking for a lot of TBR games, go check out Completely Melanie. But she came up with a challenge, which is TBR Knockout. And it's 2 prompts, and it runs the year long. Okay, so for August, we need a nonfiction book and one with a school setting. Ooh, those will be fun. I love school settings, boarding school books. Okay, so the school setting, I can actually continue on in my series, and it will be different from what I've already got going, so to avoid confusion. And this is Belle of the Ball. It's book 3 in the alphas. This is by Lacey Harrison, and she did the click and all of those. This is another little fun, silly thing. So I read book 1, alphas, in July, and then I did Movers and Shakers. There is a billionaire woman who sets up a competition for 100 girls all around the world, and she's looking for the next alpha. Think these like business moguls, Oprah, successful women, and it's kind of a little bit fashion forward. They're overachievers and they're used to standing out, so you get a little conflict, and it's just a funny, absurd light read. You don't want to go into it critically. You just go along for the ride. Kind of reminded me, if you saw Scream Queens, that series on, I believe it was Netflix. It was just hilarious. And this kind of gives a little bit of that vibe. We do have some character development in these. So anyway, book 3 would be Belle of the Brawl. I'm going to choose that for my school setting because they are in a school. And then I only have one more book left in this one. Ooh. Okay. Darn it. How many times I've dropped that? I'm going to go with this one. It is Manhunt by James L. Swanson. This is the 12-day chase for Lincoln's killer. It's a page turner. It reads like a thriller. It's just crazy 12 days. There we go. Crazy 12 days while they were on the hunt trying to find him. And they knew they were looking for Booth, John Wilkes Booth, but he really ran him on a goose chase. So anyway, this will be my nonfiction for the month, Manhunt. Okay, and then I have one more reading challenge that has monthly, and that's probably along with everybody else, Buzzword. So let me see what the Buzzword is. We want any time of day in the title, so that should be fun. Okay, I'm sensing a theme here. 13 Days to Midnight by Patrick Harmon. Midnight at the Blackbird Cafe, Weber. And The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So, I know this one has gone around YouTube a lot. I want to read it, but no. Midnight at Blackbird Cafe. I know this is set in a southern town. I want to save this, I think, for like November. Going back to your hometown. It just screams fall to me, so we're not going to do this one. Grim Reaper doesn't appear. He catches up. I think I might save this for October. So despite what I said, I guess Midnight Library. Okay, got one more set of books to pick. I had an experimental TBR game that I was trying using The Sims. I had my Sims write books in the game, and I titled them for prompts. And then my little Sim will just go to the bookcase. I tell them read something, and then they randomly pick something off the shelf, and that gives me the prompt. You can follow me at Allison at the Mighty Bujo on Storygraph if you're there. If you want to join in, use my prompts with your own books. But back to the temporary Sims one. Since I've started, I'm going to finish out the year with it. And then I think come January, I'm just going to drop that. Anyway, I've got 5 more to pick real quick. And one of the prompts that my Sims picked was Dalton Pick, which is my son. So he is going to have full access to my bookcases. Or he can also choose from his own bookcases, which he has 4 cases upstairs, which are heavily loaded with sci-fi, fantasy, probably more heavy on the sci-fi. Do you want to be on camera, or would you like to?
Yeah, sure, I'm fine with it.
Okay, so he's going to pick a book, and that will be what I'm reading. You want to wave to the...
Are you interested in a full-length book?
And you have...
Alright.
You have free reign.
Here, I'm going to check my bookcase real quick.
So while he is checking his own bookcases, I will continue on. Other prompt is Once Upon a Book Club. I subscribed to the YA and the adult version, and it came up YA. I'm supposed to randomly select a box without knowing what's in there, but I only have one. So this will be the one I'm doing. Luck of the Titanic by Stacey Lee, and this is a, I guess, reimagining. From what I understand, the Titanic actually makes it to America. This also has Asian representation. I believe they're twins or brother and sister. One is in like first class, and I believe the sister like stows away in third class, and she wants them to become acrobats once they arrive in America, and she's going to try and convince her brother. Believe that's what it's about. Anyway, this should be really interesting. Definitely something I don't typically gravitate towards, so that will be that one. And Dalton is back, so he's got a little grin on his face. I'm a little afraid to find out, but he's going to hand me a book. What do you have?
I have to stand so far back there.
Oh, geez, Louise. Okay.
It's a bit of a cheat. It is a 3-in-1.
Okay.
So with that in mind, it does open with a short story, then it goes into the first book.
Okay, so I could just read the
You
first
could just
book.
read the short
Okay.
story in that one.
Sandy Mitchell.
Yeah, Sandy Mitchell, Caiaphas Cain is how you
Caiaphas
pronounce
Cain,
that.
Hero of the Imperium. Apparently this is one of the Warhammers, which
Yes.
way back when Dalton was younger, he got into the Horus Heresy,
Actually,
and I wanted to make sure it was appropriate for him. Really good series. Really, so I bet I'll like this, and I'm going to move for some kind of sci-fi element.
honestly, you could say it's a fantasy pretending to be sci-fi. You wouldn't be off from that.
All right.
This is detailing the Imperial Guard, the normal humans in the setting.
Gotcha.
It's about 783 pages.
756. But book one,
Should stop about right there. 300s.
290. But the font is rather small. And the first one, 2003, is when it was
Does that really
published.
stand all the way back here? Yeah, I do. Just to get mostly fit, and even then, I think it's chopping off my head.
Okay, so that's my son's pick. Wish me luck.
I think you'll actually enjoy it. It's got a more comedic outlook.
Oh, sweet. I love humor in my books.
All right, enjoy.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
All right, my next prompt is TBR Chicken. Yeah, you heard me right, chicken. I have my little ceramic chicken. It's going to be scary. These are my nonfiction books that I haven't read yet, or it's been a very long time, and I really do enjoy nonfiction, obviously, or I wouldn't have bought them. So this is just to encourage me to read them. And I thought a chicken was appropriate because, you know, your nonfictions can be a little intimidating sometimes. And this was just a reminder for me, because I do have 4 TBR jars. All right, so let's mix this up. I'm a little nervous. It's my first time to use it. I set it up in May. Okay, and we'll get... I had one. Okay, we'll go with this one. And it is... Ooh, Civil War Curiosity. Let's see. There we go. Civil War Curiosities. I actually have read this one. And it was one I was considering when I had to pick my nonfiction. So I'm excited about this. And it'll also go really well with my Chasing Lincoln's Killer. So, as you can tell, this book has had a little bit of... I remember reading it while soaking in the tub, and I think it got splashed a few times. Anyway, Civil War Curiosities. It's strange stories, oddities, events, and coincidences from the American Civil War. And it's just short little stories. They're really, really interesting if you like that. You have the untold stories, the more human elements. Some of them are funny. Some of them are like, you're kidding me. So anyway, this one, I'm excited. Chicken did me good. Okay, we've got 2 more. An adaptation. Okay, there's 2. I think everybody would be shocked that I haven't read or watched or absolutely know nothing about it. Somehow, I lived in a little bubble. No spoilers, no plot lines, nothing. Game of Thrones. Completely oblivious, other than I know it ended terribly in season 8, that everybody was mad. I know there's 8 seasons, I believe. And I know Daenerys. I just know her name. Other than that, I know absolutely nothing about it. I have the 5 books. So I could read Game of Thrones, or I also have The Shadow of Bones, and I have that series. I cold bought them because it was so pretty. It was a cover buy, and I'm sure y'all have seen this version. So I think since it was just made into a series, I think I'm gonna dive into Shadow of Bone, and hopefully I'll like it, because like I said, I have all of them, but I haven't read any of them, and I've never read Lee Bardugo. So oh, there, let's show the front. Yeah, there, are we not? This is tricky. Okay, Shadow of Bone, here we go. Ooh. Okay, one more book. This is a cute prompt. I like this one. Burr, it's cold. And this is any book that either does not come with a dust jacket or you've lost it. So, obviously, hardcover. A lot of my inherited books don't have the dust jackets anymore. I think I'm going to go with this one. It's Anna and the King of Siam. So this was my, I believe my grandfather's book, and it was actually published in, let's see, 1944. I've seen the musical, which I love, but I've never read the book. We got some small print, but I don't have any classics on my list. Yeah, it's illustrated. So this should be fun. And then I'll watch the movie again. The one with Yul Brynner. I haven't, a musical. I haven't seen that forever. That'll be fun for my birthday. Okay, so we're ending with Anna and the King of Siam. So I've got quite the variety. 15 books. That may look like a lot, but actually I've been averaging 15, 16 books. In July, I went crazy and I read 23, but that was completely Melanie's fault because they had a summer reading challenge where I added an extra 12. So let me see if I can grab these sacks for the year-long challenges that I'm doing. Picture one more, which is The Witch is Back, part 3 of the Jolie Wilkins series, and that's on my Nook. And I'm not going to be able to lift these. And then my other stack, which The Sims picked for me, and this one turned out to be a very brown color coordinated stack. So these are third priority. A lot of times I'll have these and I may swap out books. So if I find that I'd rather do Game of Thrones, if I'm more in the mood for that, I will swap it. But I'm not going to swap any in my Just Spin It. Whoa. So we'll see which ones I end up finishing with. And I will definitely have a follow-up video at the end of the month with a wrap-up telling you what I thought of them. Maybe I'll break it into 3, make it 3 groups. So if you've read them, let me know. If you haven't, then, come back and I'll tell you what I thought of them. Look for me on the Storygraph if you want to follow me there. I will put my name down below, and I will check y'all next time. Have a great month. Bye now.